All of my friends were doing drugs.
Gotcha.
And I was like, why? And I wanted to find out. And I found out really quickly, like, why? I mean, for a while, like, I didn't want to really, like, there was no aspiration to live, I guess. Like, I just didn't really, nothing really mattered. Like, I had lost my family, like, everything was kind of going down anyway. So my mom tried to move me to Florida, and it got worse. It was different out there. It was a different world. Like, that's where I was first, like, introduced to homelessness and, like, thinking I would be okay on the street and, like, that it wasn't that bad. So then when it happened there, I ended up getting locked up, going to jail for stealing a car, bringing it to New Jersey. And I went and I did 45 months in county jail and then 600 days in prison. I got out, I thought everything was gonna be fine, and then I started doing dope. And I left my house, I sold my car. I had just gotten pregnant with my daughter. When I had her, she was about 4 months old, her father blew his brains out, and I ran because I didn't want to deal with it. I left her in the courtroom, I just couldn't. And it took me a while to get her back. It took me she was in foster care for a year. And I finally got her back and I was doing really good. I completed a program in Newark and I got an apartment. I had her on weekends. And the guy I was living with at that time, we were together for maybe 4 years. She's 7 now. So when on her 4th birthday, I wasn't around anymore. I just decided that me and him had never gotten high together. Wonder what it's like. And we went on the craziest run and ended up in Patterson. It lasted the past 5 years. I would say at the worst that it ever was, the past 5 years. We were in Patterson for probably a year and a half on the street, sleeping on the train station, sleeping on the sidewalk, the snow, everything. It finally got to the point where I was this bothers me. And then he overdosed in my arms.
Wow.
And then I was not coming back. I was not going to get help. I didn't want to do anything without him, honestly. And it was the longest period of my life that I had gone without calling home. I always usually try to keep in touch with my daughter, with my mom, but my mom put a missing persons report out on me. And the cops pulled me over and they were like, call your mom. She's looking for you. And I was like, it's only been a week. Called my mom and she was like, it's been 8 months.
Wow.
And that's when it kind of hit me wow, I'm living under a bridge in a tent with absolutely nothing. And I think everything is fine. And my mom doesn't even know if I'm alive. And my daughter, I'd be lying if I said she was a thought at that time because she wasn't. And that's sad thinking about it now.
Sure.
That's how much it had consumed me. I just didn't, I couldn't get clean for it because I didn't want to. It finally had to hit the point where I was I need to do this because I want to do it. Because this isn't what I want to do anymore. It used to make me so mad. People are do it for your daughter. You don't love your daughter. And I definitely loved my daughter. But I didn't love her enough, I didn't love myself enough to love her. Because I didn't care what happened to me, how can I care what happened to her? And at that point, I didn't care what happened to me, I really didn't. And I was sitting under the bridge, it was the middle of winter, I'm pretty sure I had frostbite, it was bad. I had no shoes, my face was picked apart, disgusting. And my mom was like, I haven't talked to you in 8 months. And that for me was it felt like a week. That day, I went to a halfway house and I stayed for 6 months. And I'll tell you that that wasn't enough. I went out after 6 months and at this time, I guess the drugs in Patterson had changed within a week. And I was on Suboxone and I went right back to doing 12 bags a day, at one time, and I overdosed. And it was the first time that I actually overdosed and didn't wake up. I woke up in a tent on the middle of the train tracks to my best friend, who's been my best friend, but we also ran together. It was kind of like a trauma bond, like a bad one. And, you know, I had a broken sternum, a broken nose from him trying to wake me up.
Wow.
And like, as soon as I woke up, I went and did it again. And like, I called my mom, and throughout everything, I never call my mom. Like, I'm never like, this is how bad it is. And like, I need to do something, like now. It wasn't what I was used to. Like, it wasn't, you feel yourself going out. Like, I was just out, done, silent, nothing. Like, and I thought like, wow, it really could have been like, it really could have, like, that could have been the end of everything. Like, looking at it then, I wouldn't have seen what I see now. But like, that was the moment where I was like, these drugs aren't fun anymore. Like, they're not even, like, it was a lifestyle, like, it was a way for me to wake up in the morning, like, because I couldn't function without it, because it got so bad that like that's the one thing I could say, like, I'm so glad I don't have to wake up dope sick. I really am. I really am. Like, I can wake up today and like not have to take anything to feel better, not have to take anything to like step out of bed.
That's excellent.
And like, I call my mom every day, and like, I talk to my daughter every day, and like, everything's not great, but it's better than like, I want to live today. Like, I don't. But that's definitely when, you know, I called my mom and I was like, I'm in the hospital, I overdosed. And she was like, all right, so what are you gonna do? And I was like, you know, I think I'm gonna give myself a few more days, and then I'm gonna go. And I did. Like, I set a limit. Like, I set, like, if you don't do this within this amount of time, you might as well like charge it to the game. You're out here. This is your life. Say goodbye to your daughter. And like, if I couldn't call my mom and say I'm doing this, I wasn't gonna do it. I did a short term, and it was like, I was supposed to do long term, and I got thrown out the night before because I got into a fight in the cafeteria. And I was so mad. I was like, after all this time, like, I finally want it, and I'm gonna get thrown out in the middle of the night, and like, for fighting somebody. And they wouldn't release me to Patterson. I was like, my insurance has Patterson, this is where I'm going. And I was like, just, you know, forget it. Someone that had worked there, thank God, like, knew someone that came here, because I had never been to a sober living. I had never heard of Stop the Heroin. I've never heard of any of it. And he was like, if I call your mom, will she at least give you half of what you need? He's like, because you're not going to Patterson tonight. But he had gone through here, and you know, if it wasn't for him that night, like, he didn't know me. He was the one pulling me off the girl in the cafeteria, and he knew, like, for whatever reason, like, that I really wanted it enough to stay. And I did. Like, this is the longest I've stayed somewhere, like, and we have our freedom, you know? Like, I can do whatever I want, except get high.
Sure.
I can do what I want. And like, that was a big thing for me. Like, I always needed some type of structure, and like, knowing that I didn't this time, like, I did it because I really wanted to. So yeah, I ended up coming here at like 3 in the morning.
Okay.
And
so this is 8 months ago?
Yeah.
Here? Okay.
Yeah, I came to this house at 3 in the morning. Not everyone has what they need right away. And like, there was nothing that I ever needed in this house. Like, the group, the environment, like, you never go hungry. You don't, you know, like, it's a good place to be. Especially when, you know, you got people around you, the environment you're around, you know? I got a job within the first week of being here, because I knew if I didn't, but I'm also like the person that'll be like, I'll get 3 jobs and stay busy. And I had to stop myself this time, because it was like not gonna work. Like, I never had boundaries. Like, I didn't even know what they were, to be real. Like, I really didn't. Like, I had no boundaries in terms of like, what's gonna take me back out. And like, it was so vital this time that I didn't go back out. But like, I started to look around at like the people I needed to get rid of, the things that I needed to stop doing. Like, I had to realize, like, as much as I like to not be alone, like, I need to learn how to be alone. And that was a big part of here. Like, when I didn't want to be around the people in the house, like, I had to go open a book and like go figure out like what's going on with me, because everything was fine around me. And there's some days where like, I don't want to focus on me, but I know that I need to. Like, I know that like, if I stop doing what kept me sober, like, I'm gonna be right back to where I was. You go to these programs, like these big programs, and they're just regular, like, you're here to get clean, you're here to do this, like, study, like, but this was personal, like, there's a purpose for it. And it's like, I'm not sitting in someone's house who just wants to collect a check. Like, I'm sitting in someone's house because like, this personally affected them, and whatever they can do to help somebody else. And like, even dealing with the people that I deal with that are running the houses and stuff like that. Like, they're not different from me. They just show me that, like, that could be me one day too. Like, and that's what I like, because when you go into a program, like, you're with professional people that don't always have the same past as you, and like, you feel like a little bit outside of the circle, but like here, it was different. Like, it really was. I've definitely changed the way I react to things. Like, I look at them first. I think about them twice, 3 times. I call someone else to think about them with me. But yeah, I've definitely, I'm growing as a person. Like, I care now. Like, I didn't for a while. Really didn't. The more you stay doing the right thing, like, the right things fall into place. The right things that are supposed to be, not what you think is the right thing. Like, what's supposed to happen will always happen. Like, I don't have anyone I went to school with. Like, it's not, like, it might not kill you the first time or the 3rd time, 30th time, but like, it's gonna kill everyone around you and then you. Like, it's gonna kill everything you knew about the person, like, you've grown to be. Like, I had to learn everything all over again. Like, I didn't know my favorite color when I got here. Like, I really didn't. Like, I was broken. I was so broken. And like, I stayed around broken people thinking like that was what was gonna fix me. And it wasn't. Like, I had to get away. Like, I really did. And it's hard to get out of, but like, if you have the littlest bit of hope that you can, you will. So I definitely want to go back to school. Like, I want to start some type of career. I do have like a college degree, but with felonies, I can't do anything about it right now. But the little things, getting my license back, like staying present, like, with everything going on around me, continuing to meet good people that are going to continue, like, with me and, challenge me to be better, because it's important. You can always grow. You can't stay stagnant forever. Like, that just doesn't work. Sure. They're all great. They really are. They really are great people. And it's not, and I can only say that because I know that they've been exactly where we are. Like, it's not different. It's not just because they have to, it's because they genuinely want to, And if it wasn't for like them picking up the phone at 3 a.m, like, what program is picking up the phone at 3 a.m? Sure. And not telling you to wait 24 hours. Like, they took me right out of like the middle of the night and said, don't worry about it. Like, I'll see you in the morning. And like, for that, like, I would have went back to Patterson if I didn't come here. Wow. And like, I wouldn't be here. Definitely wouldn't.